Upper East Siders, and welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast which talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear, and then discuss them over a third mug of coffee. I'm your boy, Gossip Boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by, the elite Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back.
Oh, God, it's been like forever since we recorded.
I know. I don't even know if I remember how to do this. What do we talk about?
I literally don't remember, how long it's been since we last recorded.
Yeah, we have a whole bevy of episodes that are in the pipeline. I don't know what they are. I don't remember any one of them.
Yeah, I have no clue what's going on. We're living different lives now.
Kat's moved again for now and prepping to move again.
I mean, I'm not leaving town, but...
Moving to the Upper East Side of Colorado Springs, maybe. Is there sides? Is there, districts?
Oh, God, yes. The town's divided into, lots of little, areas and stuff. Because isn't that what we do now? We, pretend we're, New York City and we have different areas. Oh, you're in the Broadmoor area. You're in the security area. You're in, you know what I mean?
The Leather District?
Yeah.
What's the Upper East Side of Colorado Springs? Where would you, I guess, want to hang out and shop?
If you had money, the Broadmoor area.
Ooh, yes, Broadmoor. Shout out to Broadmoor. What's there? A mall, maybe? A cool mall and a Sephora?
It's just, that's where all the fancy stuff is. That's where, the Richie Rich stuff.
That's Grand Dunes, where I live. Shout out to Grand Dunes.
Even, the fancy apartments where, a studio apartment that's, 400 square feet is, $1,400 a month.
Ugh, that sounds fucking horrible.
I hate it. It's so hard to find an apartment.
It's where Blair and Serena would live.
And they would feel like they were slumming it.
Where does Serena live? Across from, the MoMA or something?
Something stupid like that, yeah.
The Met.
The school's across the street from the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Because they have lunch on the steps. It's the whole thing.
Is that where they have the Met Gala every year? Is that the same place?
Yes.
Ooh, so they get to see Lady Gaga wearing a outfit that looks like a corkscrew or something.
Please, they are probably invited to the Met Gala.
Oh yeah, they're probably working it. They work the door. They look at the list.
Okay, so what are we doing today? How do we do this?
All right, so in case you haven't caught on by what we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes, we're doing Gossip Girl, but we're not doing the Gossip Girl that you probably know, because we're doing a book club. Yes, we're bringing it back.
Yeah.
We decided to give Sweet Valley High a break this year.
I mean, we can't find any more audiobooks for it. I think we ran out.
I think there's 2 more, but I just remember the last one just being not as thrilling as the first 2.
I think the next one was supposed to be an Enid book, so we were fuck that.
I feel like we already did an Enid book. I feel like that was we found out she had a drug problem or something.
No, we talked about it.
I don't know. I feel like the second book is a straight up Enid book, and she dates a bad boy or something. There's a rumor going around that she's a loose woman or something. I swear we've gone over this. We've covered this.
Who knows? I can't remember, what we've done in the past. You'll be like, Kat, we already did that episode. Or I'll message you and be like, didn't we do this episode ahead of the class? And you're like, we haven't done Head of the Class. Why do you think we've done this?
So Kat Halstead, the author, she went on this crazy Head of the Class rewatch. It's available on HBO Max. By the time this episode comes out, the reboot will probably be in its 3rd season. So she's going on and on about, oh, I remember doing this for the podcast. We've never done. I have not seen the show since 1992 when a rerun was on USA Express or something on a Saturday afternoon. We've talked about it numerous times, but we've never covered it on the show.
Yeah.
As of this recording.
But I must have because didn't Antenna TV start airing Head of the Class or something? Or MeTV or one of those channels. I feel it was really recent. I just watched this episode a few months ago because it was so clear in my head.
Maybe we added it to the list and then you jumped ahead and then for some reason we lost the list, which seems to happen quite a bit.
I'll have to see if I even have the list in my planner.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have the one where Dan Schneider's character goes over to Howard Hessman's house, just shows up in the middle of the night and is hey, can I sleep here tonight? And he's sure, come on in. Want some wine?
There's totally an episode where his character goes over to Mr. Moore's house. It's in season 1.
Yeah, it's like the 3rd episode, I think, because I started to do like a hot rewatch, and I got like 5 episodes in, and I'm like, I can't watch the show anymore.
Okay, so like the first couple seasons are really good. The 3rd season is where it starts to get to be too much about Dan Schneider's character Dennis and Arvid.
I like Arvid, but I don't think I like Dan Schneider's character.
There's a point. Like every episode,
There's flags.
for a good chunk of time, is just like Arvid, 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 Arvid. If it's not Arvid, it's Dennis. And I'm just like, give me some Darlene, please. Where the hell is Darlene?
We don't get like a fun like what's her name, like Leslie Bega storyline or something.
Well, she leaves after the 3rd season.
Yeah, she does the pilot episode of 90210, and then she like quits 90210 to be a movie star, and then I don't know, she's never heard from again. What was like that movie that she did with like Patrick Dempsey?
She's still acting.
Really?
She was on like one of those CSI or NCIS type shows.
Like the FBI or something? I don't know. FBI International.
Something like I just looked it up because I was like, whatever happened to her? Because I was like, what happened to most of this cast? Because I know what happened with Dan Schneider, that piece of shit. We know about Robin Givens.
Gal pal Robin Givens.
We know about Brian Robbins now being the head of Nickelodeon.
Really? I didn't know that, so good to know.
Yes! The dude who played Eric on Head of the Class is now the head of Nickelodeon. He came on as the head of Nickelodeon like 4 or 5 months after Nickelodeon had already been like, so long, Schneider. I went into like a deep dive on this because I was so like, wait, how like into this is he? But like, because he, the dude who played Arvid and Dan Schneider were all like guys who worked on like all that, and then Kenan and Kel.
Like the Amanda Show and stuff like that.
And the Amanda Show, and then Brian Robbins left Nickelodeon. He was doing some stuff with Amanda Bynes, like that show with Jenny Garth.
Oh, What I Like About You?
Yeah, and Big Fat Liar and stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then he went and created Awesomeness TV or whatever, like that YouTube channel. And then he made his way back into like working in TV with Viacom, and then he got made the head of Nickelodeon several months after.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, whoever, like, the president or CEO of Viacom, who is overseeing Nickelodeon, do you think they have, like, a list of all the head of class teens, and it's like, as one goes, they just bring the next one up? Like, do you think, like, Arvid will be the next president of Nickelodeon?
No.
No? Or
No.
Leslie Bega?
Because, okay, so, like, Brian Robbins definitely after Head of the Class, started working more behind the scenes.
I have another question for you. What was the name of that movie that Leslie Bega was in with, like, Patrick Dempsey and Christian Slater? That was supposed to be, like, the launch of her, like, film career. It was, like, 91-ish.
I have no idea.
They're playing, like, Lucky Luciano and stuff. They're, like, mobsters. Like, those old-timey I don't know. I just remember it was supposed to be, like, a series of movies. It was supposed to be, like, the next Godfather.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I remember being, like, 8 or 9 years old and, like, wanting to see it. And eventually, like, saw it on, I don't know, like, TBS, like, 5 years after it came out. And I was like, really? I was, like, excited for this?
Right?
Well, shout out to Leslie Bega, who's now on either FBI.
She was on The Sopranos, too.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. Because I was like, hey, it's Leslie Bega, Marianne Moore from the first episode of 90210.
Like, honestly, I think if I, like, saw her in something now, I'd be like, oh, it's Maria from Head of the Class. But, like, a month ago, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. She's like one of those girls that just shows up in things here and there that you just...
Yeah.
You're like, I know her from somewhere, but you don't put much thought into it.
Yeah, like, it would not have clicked with me. Oh, that's who you are. Because my brain would not have, like... captured all of that. Like, my brain has a lot of weird random crap from when we were kids stuck in it, but Maria was not one of them, which is weird because when I was doing this binge, Maria was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of weird. It's not like I get the same reaction when I watch The Flight Attendant and I see Rosie Perez and I get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get that same kind of reaction from Leslie Bega. Sorry, but maybe I will now. Maybe I'll keep my eyes extra peeled out for you and things. I don't know, maybe you'll be on an episode of, what do I watch now? I have no idea. All right. Book club. So, yeah, we're doing the Gossip Girl book, which I guess is loosely based on the pilot episode of the original Gossip Girl TV series.
Okay, no. You got it backwards. The book series comes first.
That's what I meant. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. The book series comes first, then the TV show. So this is the one episode of the TV show that's actually like that really follows the book in any way. And even then it still has its slight differences, but it's the most faithful to the book series.
Yeah, I watched the pilot episode last night just to kind of like do a little compare and contrast. And I don't know, like, I feel like when most television series do a series based on a book, usually like the first season will follow the book, but this one, like, they just go the first episode, like, hits all the beats.
Well, the book series is very serialized. The book series takes place over like 1 year.
Oh, okay. Did not know that.
Yeah, it takes place over their senior year.
So it's like Forever 2002
of high school. And then there's like a follow-up book that takes place, like it kind of hits some beats throughout the next like 4 or 5 years or something like that.
They kind of do like what they did for the Gilmore Girls, like a year in the life, and they just kind of like speed through like a whole year.
Florida, it's one that gets written after the TV series has been on for a while. So it hit a few different things. It's like, oh, you want to see what Chuck and Blair are like together as a couple? Here it is. Not as toxic, but still weird.
All right, so the book series was written, I'm probably going to butcher her names, Cecily von Ziegler?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Ooh, I got it right. Okay.
It's close. It's better than like the boy I was watching earlier today. He's like, he completely butchered Cecily, and I'm just like, oh dear God.
If it was Cecily, he could get Cecily. That's like the easiest.
He couldn't get Cecily.
What did he say?
I don't even remember. I just was like staring at my computer in shock, like, child.
All right, so she's kind of like she was a YA novelist, maybe a journalist. Like, I didn't really go into her biography, but she kind of, I don't know, in the early 2000s, she had this idea where I guess the best way to describe the Gossip Girl series to me is like it's a sexier and more rich people Sweet Valley High.
Pretty much, yeah.
More like, it's a little more grown up in a way too. It gets a little like raunchy.
Okay, so the best way I can think of to describe it is if you took the actions of Laguna Beach,
Ooh.
moved it into New York City, and let them get away with all the things people would see Paris Hilton and all them getting away with in clubs when they were like 16, 17, that's Gossip Girl.
Okay, and they try to intermingle these characters with like famous people. So I think like Christina Aguilera gets like name dropped like 4 times in this book, and Jude Law,
which is so awkward.
Jude Law, I think name comes up a few times, and I was like, Jude Law, because this book came out what, 2002?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this. Was he like a bankable name in 2000? Like, I know he's like a star, but like,
I think he was very like recognizable.
But with like a 16-year-old girl at this time, like the target audience for the Gossip Girl book series, would they be like, oh my god, Jude Law?
Possibly. I mean, here's the thing. People still, like, Johnny Depp still gets named as, like, this hot star that a 16-year-old's gonna be getting all, like, hot and bothered by. And I have never in my life been that, like, oh yeah, Johnny Depp.
Not even when you were watching, like, 21 Jump Street when you were 8 years old?
Mm-mm.
And cut his picture out of Tiger Bop and put a heart around his face?
Nope, never.
Alright, okay. Well, I guess different strokes for different folks. Yeah, so the book came out in 2002. It's very, like, early 2000s. Like, text messaging doesn't exist, I think, in this world. It's all, like, cell phones barely exist, I think. Like, they're just starting to become known.
Yeah, it's still, like, early cell phone, no real text messaging. God, I don't think I even learned about text messaging until those, like, weird AT&T commercials with Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, yes. Well, I think like text messaging was around, but it cost money. It was like 15 cents a text. It was hard to do.
Yeah, it was not the preferred way to communicate.
Yeah, even in the Gossip Girl TV series that came out in 2007, they very minimally do text messaging in it. They do, but it's like the old style text. Actually, I think Serena has a sidekick, though. I'm going to throw that out there. I'm pretty sure she has like the top notch one, but like,
yeah.
Dan Humphrey has like a flip phone with the numeric keypad, and it takes him like an hour to write a message.
Yeah, you could barely, like, you get just like a grainy picture.
Yeah, and he just, like in their real shorthand, it's like SOS Chuck's hair or something. It's just very short, and it's not these long messages that we send today. And another thing that I want to point out in the book, I think we're at like the beginning of the blogosphere.
Yes, this is early, like, blog world.
So, all right. I had to look this up because I was like trying to remember when like LiveJournal. All right, so LiveJournal started in 99, April of 1999.
Okay.
I did not realize that. I still thought that was like GeoCities era.
GeoCities was still there. It was not the hip thing, though.
It was winding down.
Yeah.
So what was big in 99? Like message boards. I kind of remember that being like you could like sign up for a message board and like have your friends like write messages on there and stuff.
Yeah.
That was like kind of the thing, right? You could have like anonymous message boards.
Yeah, there were message boards and man, we have seen a lot on the internet, Patrick. A lot.
I remember like my friend group had like a message board and we used to just go and like slander each other on there under like anonymous names. Like, who posted that one?
I remember in college we all had live journals. We would all like subscribe and follow each other, and like people would bitch about what we wrote. It's like, dude, I had a shitty day. Let me vent about my shitty day. God.
Type it in all caps. And you post about, I don't know, cappuccino that you wanted to get at the cafeteria. It was too cold or something.
I just remember I had like one really crappy like 3 days in a row, and I was like making a post, and my friend was like, "Oh, boo fucking who?" And I was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, because you can comment on them, right? You can leave comments.
Yeah, you could comment. Like, I think I could still get into my live journal if I wanted, but I haven't. I stopped using it when the Russians took over.
I just remember like having one, but I don't even know if I know the URL anymore. Like, I don't know if I remember the username, and if I did, it's probably like 5 passwords ago that I used.
5 like emails.
Yeah, it's probably like an AOL email account, so I probably wouldn't even be able to get in.
Mine is probably with like a Hotmail account or my college email.
Can you get into it still?
Mm-mm.
It's dead. It's gone.
Yeah.
What was it? Cat Halstead at coloradostate.edu.
No, it was like, I don't even remember what it was. It was so stupid.
All right. What do you want to do? Do you want to do like character beats? Do you want to go over like plot points? Like, how do you want to do this? How do you want to do book club Gossip Girl?
Okay, I think we just have to like dive into like what this world is and just go for it. Just pretend we just found the blog and we're trying to figure out what the heck this is.
All right. So one thing I want to point out, we're going to drop a spoiler right now. I'm just going to say it. So if you don't want to know the end of Gossip Girl, the TV series, just stop listening right now. Because
the Gossip Girl in the TV series is not the Gossip Girl from the book.
Yes, and they never reveal the identity of the Gossip Girl in the book. But we get it in the TV show because I guess they had to.
Though it's heavily implied in the final book that it's Chuck Bass.
Oh, okay. Good to know. But in the TV series, it's Dan Humphries, and if you go back, watch the show, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
It makes no sense, especially with all the Dan and Blair stuff. It makes no sense.
But they just threw it in there. Is it safe to say that the last season of Gossip Girl, just don't watch it, skip it?
Oh my god, I hate. Okay, so with Gossip Girl, I watched the first season like as it aired. And then, like, I just got busy and couldn't keep up with it because this is, like, pre-having a DVR and not everything's being streamed. And, like, I didn't have a VCR to record. And I remember, like, I came back and I started binging it right before the 5th season. So, because it was on Netflix, and I watched it. And, I binged it. Like, that's what I did for, like, a week straight. Was just, like, watch Gossip Girl and fall in love with Dan and Blair. And I was like,
I watched the first episode last night, and I was just like looking at the clock. I'm like, when is this over? Because
it's like I was just kind of like, I have to. Like, the only thing that really kept me watching was Dan and Blair. So season 5 really sucked because it was Blair chasing after Chuck and
okay, if you say so.
All this stupid crap. Something there, like season 5 just gets weird. There's weird music and.
It even like ended early too. Didn't it end in like December or something? It was just like they're like, all right, we're done. See ya.
Yeah.
Wrapping up. Like Taylor Momsen comes back, I think, at the end for some reason.
Yeah, like she just shows up in like the last episode, but also Rachel Bilson just shows up in the episode randomly, and actual Kristen Bell, and because they've all been following the Gossip Girl blog.
Yeah, there was this whole like they wanted to have like real life people in it, right? Wasn't that the?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was lame. All right. So in the book, we get these little. It's like in between the chapters, we get these little Gossip Girl segments.
Yeah.
We never really The characters never really reference the blog in the narrative, though. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, like the blog is kind of, in a way, the Greek chorus. Like, hey, here's what's happening. You know, it's somebody watching them, and they're never really going to imply who it is.
Just a way to narrate like a bunch of stuff that we don't really need to see. Just kind of like moves the story along quicker.
It kind of like gives you the idea of what people see when they think of Blair Waldorf or Serena van der Woodsen. And then the actual chapters show you how awful Serena is.
Yes, all right. So the book opens up, and it's just kind of, Serena's been gone for like a year or two. She's been away at boarding school. Doesn't really state explicitly why, but everyone like thinks they have the hot scoop on it, but they really don't. They're just kind of like making shit up. But I guess she's like spotted somewhere, like at the airport or at I'm now mixing up the TV show with the with the book. Sorry,
No,
that's it.
It's
okay.
the Grand Central Station. She gets spotted at the train station, coming in, and she's coming back the day that there's this big party at Blair's house.
Charity event or something. Save the whales.
Yeah. Because that's what all these people do, is they just go to like different charity parties like constantly.
It's just like it's like a weeknight too, right? Like I feel like it's like a Tuesday because I feel like school was the next day.
Yeah, it's just like a random day. There's just like a random party.
Yeah, it's like early in the evening,
and
dinner time.
Serena like shows her ass up back in town, and it's like, oh, hi, and everybody's like, bitch, what are you doing back? None of us wanted you back.
Yeah, there's a lot of whispering going on, and she's like very, I guess she's like hesitant to go, but she still goes anyway, just to kind of
to make the appearance, and because she wants to see Blair, but she does not realize that she's basically cut Blair out of her life, and Blair is thriving. Without her.
So I guess, how old are they in this? Like 17?
17, yeah.
All right, so they're what, juniors?
They're seniors. They're like 17, turning 18.
I guess in this world, by the time they were sophomores, I guess Serena van der Woodsen was on top of the world. She was like the Regina George. She was the Kelly Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Joey Potter, but I don't think Joey Potter was on the top of any world. She's like
no, she wasn't.
The one to beat. She was like the queen of the school. I guess she had the most money. She drove the nicest cars. She had the hottest fashions. She hung out with Christina and Britney. And Blair was kind of like the second fiddle, so to say.
Yeah.
Like, I guess just like one day out of the blue, all of a sudden, like, Serena's gone. Like, without warning, she's out of town.
Yeah, so she gets sent to boarding school, and, you know, she's gone, but there's always, like, rumors about what's happening with her at boarding school, because people are like, oh my god, they'll come back to the city, or they have the cousin who went to, like, the other school, and they're like, oh my god, my cousin goes to Hanover Academy with Serena, and you're not going to believe what she heard. And Serena's kind of a party girl. And she's been screwing around, and she hasn't been thinking about college. She just wants to think about the next party. Meanwhile, you have, like, Blair, who, yes, she likes to go out and party, but she's also, like, got goals and things she wants to do in life. And she's like, I'm going to go to Yale.
Yeah, she's in clubs.
I'm going to lose my virginity to my boyfriend, Nate, who, unfortunately, Serena has already slept with. I did not realize that this could be an issue for Blair. God, she's so awful.
All right, so we're going to throw this out there. I'm a Serena stan and you're a Blair stan.
Yes.
And I can't make my points known. You can't make your points known to me. Like, it's just never going to happen. Like, I'm going to throw this out there. I do enjoy TV Blair much more than book Blair. And I enjoy TV Serena much more than book Serena. But I do appreciate that we kind of get more into the minds of the character in the books. We get to kind of like experience their thoughts more, I think, than the TV series, which I liked, which made me just hate Blair even more. I was just like, just fucking... I'm like, she's just fucking insufferable. Why? Like, I don't get what's going on. Like, but I do. Like, they're just petty teenage girls.
So here's the thing. They were two girls who were best friends. And, you know, they both always kind of liked the same boy. But, and he this is the thing about Nate. He is pretty much stoned, probably like 75% of the time. And, he's just like, so, oh, you like me right now? Okay, let's go. He's just horny and stoned. and he will probably screw whichever girl is in front of him and is willing.
Yeah, like there's this whole. They create this whole like duality to his character where it's like it's either going to be Nate and Serena or Nate and Blair. But lest we forget about options 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is just everyone else at Constance Billiard.
Constance Billard.
Billard. What did I say? Billiard?
Yeah.
It's a billiard hall in the Upper East Side, across from the Met Gala. So they go and shoot pool. That's where, you know what? Nate goes over to when he's out of what's the name of like the school, the boys' school?
St. Jude's. Well, okay, so in the book, there are multiple schools. Like, all the girls seem to go to Constance Billard, but the boys, there's like 2 or 3 different schools. But they're like, Nate and Chuck know each other because they're like their parents are friends. Dad is just like that weird guy at St. Like, hey, yeah, you're like in my English lit class, right, bro? Right on. I gotta go hit on your sister now.
So the first time I ever watched a show, I didn't realize there was multiple schools. I just assumed they all went to the same school.
Well, in the show, they kind of like condense it to like the boys and girls school are in the same building.
Oh, okay. It's like Preston Prep.
Yes.
Do they have 2 schools in Preston Prep? I feel like they did.
No, I think it was just Preston Prep, but it was a co-ed.
Oh, okay. You know what? It should have been 2 schools. Then we could have got a second series. We could have got a spin-off.
Didn't they have the cruise ship season?
Oh, yeah. Like Semester at Sea or something. Or is that Road Rules?
I don't know. Like, maybe I have a fever dream.
When they did the last-ditch effort to, like, make the show sexy again, they all went to school, like, on a cruise ship, like, on an international cruise ship in, like, the Mediterranean, was it, I feel like?
I don't... Listen, we're lucky we know what we know about Preston Prep.
Anyone out there knows about the Semester at Sea season, send us an email. Finally get to the bottom of it. And if you have an episode, upload it to archive.org so we can watch it.
Yeah.
So... back to Nate. So he's just kind of like this. Is he supposed to be like the Dylan, the Jared Catalano of the series, like the one we're supposed to like croon over?
Yeah, Nate is the catch. So Nate like comes from a good family. He's like got good prospects. He is not the one who's gonna go and become like a Trustafarian. You know what I mean?
I don't know what your thoughts are on him, but he just seemed like a wet noodle to me. Like, total wet noodle.
Okay. He's just like your basic rich white boy. He's gonna go to college. He's gonna get the good job because his parents know people. He's gonna make good money. He's not gonna really ever care about anything. Which is kind of funny because in the TV series, Nate is like actually completely different. Like, Nate actually is the one who goes on, actually figures his stuff out and, like, finds his own identity.
I don't know. I just, like, anytime we got, like, a Nate chapter in this, I just was, I don't know, looking at something else, like, looking at my phone or something, like, can we cut to another scene? I want to know what Vanessa's up to right now.
Oh my god, I love book Vanessa. I hated TV Vanessa.
I never remember TV Vanessa. I know she kind of comes in like later on though, right?
Vanessa's there from the start, man.
She's definitely not in the pilot episode because I watched that last night.
She's the girl working at the coffee shop that Dan hangs out at.
But it's not in the first episode. She's not in it.
She's not, like, she doesn't go to the prep school with them. She's just, like, some girl in Brooklyn that Dan knows in the TV show.
From, like, Williamsburg or something.
Yeah, and then she, like, ends up dating Nate later on. And, like, Nate and Vanessa are basically on their own damn show. Because they don't fit with, like, anybody else on the Gossip Girl show.
Alright, so Serena's back in town. She's trying to, like, get back into, like, the Blair sphere. But Blair's just not having it.
Blair's like, no, bitch. Bye-bye.
She's got, like, her own new little clique. She's, like, the queen bee now. She's the one in charge, large and in charge. So Serena, like, comes into school, and, like, everyone's, like, whispering, talking about what she did at Hanover Academy, or, you know, her 2 weeks in Paris that got her kicked out of Hanover Academy. And she just kind of feels left behind.
Well, like, when you don't show up for the start of the school year, why should they keep you?
Right?
You can't just decide you're gonna wander around France just for
2 weeks.
Shits and giggles. Sorry, Serena, you have another year before you can do that.
She's kind of, like, trying to, like, find her place back at Constant Billard, not Constant Billiard. as I said earlier. So she goes to I guess the guidance counselor or some teacher or something, and she's trying to find her new place in school, and the guidance counselor is like, "Why don't you do an extracurricular activity? If you want to get into college, they're not even going to look at you."
Yeah, because your grades are crap. You're basically behind everybody in your class now. Cause she just chilled at Hanover and did cocaine and drank and whatever.
Yeah, partied. I don't know. Where is Hanover? Is it New Hampshire?
Yeah, it's some New England area.
Some, I don't know, probably deep in the mountains.
Yeah.
A little snowy village. Maybe there's some small thriving community, but it's probably very sheltered though.
Probably, yeah.
I feel like they wanted to make it seem like it was Lake Tahoe or something, but it's not even close.
No.
And so this guidance counselor is trying to figure out what Serena would be good at. And be like, how about lacrosse? And she's like, no, I can't run. I might break a nail. And she's like, how about book club? And no, I don't read. She's like, well, is there anything that you are okay at? She's like, well, I kind of want to be an actress. So she's like, oh, well, great. Why don't you try out for the drama club? I think they're doing they were doing Macbeth or Hamlet or something. I can't remember what they were doing.
They were doing something stuffy. I don't even remember.
It was just nonsense. So she goes there, goes to the audition, but everyone's kind of set on the cast already. Maybe she's gonna be a handmaid or something.
Yeah, and she's just disappointed because it didn't just come easily to her. This is one of the things that gets me about Serena. She gets a lot of attention just for existing, and she doesn't work for anything. Things just kind of fall into her lap. She ends up going to a party and getting photographed by some photographer, and then her picture's everywhere, and everybody's talking about it, and everybody's like, oh, shut up, Serena, we're so sick of it. Even Gossip Girl's I'm sick of this picture.
It's not even a picture of her face, it's a picture of her her tramp stamp.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
It's on the back of, it's on the side of every bus in New York City. I just like how it happens very quickly. She gets the picture taken, and then it's the next day the picture seems to be everywhere. Unless there's gaps in time. I don't know if there's gaps in time.
There's not that much gaps in time. It maybe is a day later or something.
Okay, I don't know. It's just it just blew my mind that these photographers, they were twins, I think. They're brothers or something. Mm-hmm. And they took Serena's picture of her back, and maybe there's an ass crack shown in or something. It's semi-scandalous. It doesn't specify exactly what it is, but it's the very next day the picture just seems to be everywhere though.
It's everywhere, everywhere. People are oh, that's so cool, and then they're over it within 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, because I think it says Serena on the picture, right? What was it selling? Was it perfume or something? What the fuck was it?
I don't even know. I think it was a perfume or something.
It was CK Serena.
It was something seriously cheesy, but now it seems high class because this New York elite teenage girl, the picture for the product.
Whatever. So the drama club just seems to be beyond wanting her part of this. So she's I don't know what to do. She's I still want to act. So she finds out that this girl, Vanessa, is, I guess, making a movie. It's, I don't know. Is it an adaptation of something? I kind of was...
Yeah, it's supposed to be an adaptation, one of the Russian novels. But, okay, so already it's pretentious as fuck, right? Super pretentious. Because Vanessa is a serious artiste, and her best friend Dan Humphries is a serious artiste. So they're not going to make just drivel. They're going to make a serious movie. And
there's going to be cool angles. I'm picturing a...
yeah.
What was it, Sophia Coppola, Marie Antoinette-esque type movie? That's what I envisioned in my mind.
That's kind of what I envisioned too, except without, the dramatic costume.
Just whatever she could afford.
Yeah, whatever. Just complete cliche arts film student, New York City, rough angles, gritty film, overlay kind of thing. And
I can even picture doing it in black and white for some reason.
Yeah, totally black and white. It's gotta be black and white because it is serious.
Yes, that's how they'll take her serious. That's how the I don't know, the Tribeca Film Festival will take her seriously.
And it would probably never make it into the Tribeca Film Festival. Let's be real.
I don't know. Who knows? So I guess she decides to audition for that. And she's like the only, other than this girl like Margaret, who has like red hair and freckles.
Yeah.
Not Blair. Serena's the only one who shows up to this audition. And I guess she shows up, it's like an hour after the call time was. So it's like Tuesday at like 4. She shows up at like 5:30.
Because that's Serena. The world is on her timeline, not anybody else's.
So Serena shows up and like Dan's in the middle of the scene with Margaret. And it's like, it's going horrible. Like she's fucking up her lines. She's like clearly can't play the part of like a princess or whatever the hell she's supposed to play. And I guess Dan's taken it like super seriously. Very serious. Vanessa's taking it seriously. I don't know who else is in this movie. Is it just the two of them? Like these two characters?
Yeah, because let's be real. Vanessa's not going to find anybody. She doesn't have, like, the budget for an actual cast, you know?
Like people play multiple roles, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like playing the part of the princess and like the ogre is Margaret.
Poor Margaret.
Serena shows up and Dan's like instantly smitten by her. And like...
Yeah. Well, okay, so Dan has, like, been obsessed with Serena for like years. Yeah, from the distance, from like 8th grade, because he was at this party where he saw her, and it's like the one time he went to a party. She is just this goddess as far as he's concerned.
And he's been like pining over her ever since. Even like his younger sister, Jenny, notices it. Like, because...
Oh yeah. Jenny knows, like, Jenny's obsessed with Serena too, though.
It's ridiculous. So... Serena auditions for this movie. Like she does great, and like her and Dan have this amazing chemistry. But Vanessa, like I guess, also has a thing for Dan, so she just kind of like
she has a total thing for Dan, and it's like okay, the way Vanessa like sees Dan as like this amazing guy, and then the way he gets described is so like cringy.
So I know he's like in real life he's like Penn Badgley, but like what is the like, what do you think Cecily von Ziegler's look was?
Okay, the way I picture Dan is, like, super scrawny, super jittery, probably hasn't showered in, like, a week. His clothes are disheveled, his hair is all over the place.
So do you think, so, like, a 2002, like... Jared Leto, you kind of thinking?
Like, I feel like Jared Leto was really clean back in 2002, like dirty.
Okay, like grungy.
Like, because he's not even drinking, like, he's drinking instant coffee and
Sanka.
Smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. It's hard to...
He's that weird guy scribbling in his little notebook all the time. Actually, it just made me realize he kind of reminds me of this guy I went to college with. Like, the way I'm picturing, I'm like, oh.
Do you know who I think he could be? A scrawny version of Chris Pratt's character from The OC.
I could sort of see that. Yeah.
That's the official vision. Anyway, Vanessa goes with Margaret for some reason, even though she knows it's wrong. When she's like, oh, maybe I can reframe the movie as a comedy.
It's so weird.
Which... is dumb. I don't know. Like, who's going to see this movie?
Nobody's going to go see it unless, like, they have to see it for, like, extra credit.
Anyway, so Serena's upset because this is, like, her only ticket to extracurricular activity. Like, there's not, like, a baking club or something, or there's got to be something she could do.
Like, I think Vanessa is the AV club.
Okay. Like, I didn't know there was, like, a radio station that she could have, like, tried out for. Something. So she decides that she's going to make her own movie. And, like, she doesn't know where to start. She's like, oh, well, I know Blair took that, like, film class in, like, 10th grade. You know, maybe she'd give me some pointers. So she, like, calls up Blair and is like, hey, you know, can you show me how to, like, work a camera? Can you teach me about lighting? And Blair is like, I don't fucking know. I don't have time for this. I have too much going on. I have the Kiss on the Lips party coming up soon. I got a Bed Nate that's coming up.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's not going to tell Serena that.
Yeah, like, I got things to do. So Serena's like, fine. So, like, I guess, like, Jenny Humphrey, like, overhears, and she, like, pulls her into this world. I don't even know what the hell Jenny Humphrey's gonna... What is she? She can make... She's, like, a calligrapher or something?
Yeah, apparently she's a calligrapher. I mean, this is 2002. It's not 2021 on YouTube for planners, but hey. Today, Jenny Humphrey would be a bullet journal girl on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. She'd have her own little channel.
Yeah.
So she pulls her in to make this movie, And the storyline pretty much dies there. That's it. Like, we never...
Yeah, like, there's nothing else really about Serena's like, oh, Vanessa, can you show me the equipment? Vanessa's like, okay.
There is. There is like a moment later on in the end where Serena does reach out to Vanessa. That's how she kind of gets like reacquainted with Dan.
Yeah.
But we're kind of jumping ahead. I kind of wanted to like circle around to Blair's party because I feel like this is the highlight of the book.
Well, because that all happens the same night.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Blair specifically does not update Serena's address so that she won't get the invitation to the Kiss on the Lips party, which, hey, I don't blame her. This girl is annoying the heck out of her. Does she really want her there? No.
We have to describe what the Kiss on the Lips party is. So I guess it's like a benefit for some like rare spotted owl or something that...
Like some falcons in the park or something.
I guess they're birds that are known to kiss, so they call it the Kiss on the Lips party because they just want it to sound sexy.
Yeah.
And the party's on like Friday, and it's like Tuesday, and Blair thinks this is enough time to get like custom-made invitations created and sent to everyone, and then like enough time for people to RSVP and like decide to come and, I don't know, pick out an outfit, which I guess maybe is normal in this world. I don't know.
Maybe for the elite in New York City, this is totally like the time.
Like 4 days.
Yeah.
Blair can't, I guess her like normal calligrapher quits like last minute, and like, Jenny Humphrey just happens to be like in the cafeteria with her or something.
Okay, so the Kiss on the Lips party is just, you know, an excuse to have a party. That's all these parties are. It's just an excuse.
But Blair, like, intentionally does not want Serena to go. And she had, like, as you said, she included Serena's old address back at Hanover on the guest list that Jenny had. And that's how she was sending the invitations out. And she caught it. She, like, because she's obsessed with Serena, she, like, picks up on the old address, so she makes her the card and she like hand delivers it to her. Like, I think it's like in front of Blair too, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not in front of Blair.
Oh, I think in the show it was. I think it's in front of Blair.
I think in the show it is, but in the book it's not. So Serena's like, oh, that's so sweet of you. And she's like, why would Blair not have updated my address? Why do you think, Serena? Because Blair does not want you there. Have you not figured this out yet? She has literally said you can't sit with us.
Numerous times, too.
And you're not getting it. It's like, God, Serena, this is like what kind of drives me crazy about Serena is Serena cannot pick up on the signals around her. Like, even Nate is like, while there's part of Nate that's just like ready to dive back into Serena, there's also part of Nate that's like, girl, I'm dating Blair. Do you not understand that Blair is my girlfriend?
I think a part of Serena knows it, but I think she just sucks at picking up context clues, maybe. Or she just doesn't have... Mm-hmm. Like, this part of her brain has never developed.
Yeah.
So she just kind of... She's just like plankton in the sea. That's just like the best way to describe her. She just kind of like flows with the tide, just flows with the ocean, just lands where she lands, and... she just keeps getting gobbled up by all these people who just don't care about her anymore. Like, so it's confusing to her.
She's like, I don't get it. Like, you all adored me before, but why are you not, like, dropping to your knees to be like, Serena, thank God you're home.
She's been gone for 2 years, and from what we can tell, she's not talked to anybody, too.
Yeah, she, like, left and, like, didn't keep in touch. She was just, like, at school chilling with Georgina Sparks.
And... she just, like, shows up out of the... It's not like she called Blair, like, a week in advance. It's like, hey, I'm coming back to the Upper East Side.
Yeah, like, nobody knew.
Yeah, she just shows up at, like, a random party one night. Or Gossip Girl picks it up in her blog, in her live journal, because she was spotted at Central Station.
Yeah.
Like, getting off a train or something. Getting off the fucking 475 line from fucking, I don't know, Hanover, where the fuck she coming from. Yeah, it just blows my mind that she just doesn't pick up any of this stuff. It's like she keeps trying to like plan things with Blair, and like Blair's giving her like the cold shoulder, but she like wants to rub it in her face that she's got Nate, but like Nate's just like, as you said earlier, he's just kind of like about everything. So it's not really working to Blair's favor because I don't know.
But at the same time, it's like Serena just does not seem to understand that people had lives while she was gone.
Yeah, they've matured, they've moved on. There's a whole new, like, friend group.
And, like, even Nate has his eye on college. Serena has, like, no concept of the fact she should be even getting ready to go to college.
Well, I think she's, like, the first book is just her trying to, like, get direction or a new perception. And it's just not, I guess it's just not working out for her. Like, everything just seems to be kind of working against her. I mean, I guess she kind of finds direction at the end with Dan, but...
I mean, I've read all the books, so I'd, like, kind of know, but yeah.
You know what happens. Yeah, it doesn't work out, right? It's like, it's over, like the next book or something.
No.
Well, they had to create some illusion of hope for her, I guess. So, yeah, so I guess it's, I don't know if it's like the night of the party or like no, it's not. It's like a night or two before the party. And this is the night that Blair decided it's going to be like sexy time with Nate. But for some reason, she invites Serena to like drinks at the hotel or something.
No, Serena invites Blair out for drinks, thinking they're going to have like a girls' night out on the town, getting sloshed and photographed for the paparazzi or whatever. And Blair's like, yeah, no. Like, Serena shows up in, like, this hot dress, and Blair shows up in, like, jeans and a nice sweater. Because Blair's like, yeah, no, I have SAT prep.
Oh, that's it, okay.
I'm just here to be polite, really. And then Serena's like, well, what about if we go up to the Bass's suite? And Blair's like, yeah, we don't really do that anymore. But then, like, after Blair leaves... like, Chuck shows up and he's like, yeah, let's go up to my suite. And then Serena's like, wait, people still hang out up there? And it's like, Serena, honey, you are really not picking up that Chuck is not, like, the number one to go hang out with.
Alright, this part, I forgot about that, just remembered this. This part of the whole book is wild. This is fucking wild. So there's a whole scene where it's Chuck and Serena... they get drunk at the hotel bar, I guess it is. Is it the Indigo or something? I feel
something like that. I don't even remember.
So they go up to the Bass Suite. And like as soon as they get up to the Bass Suite, Chuck like takes his clothes off and like Cecily von Ziegler like describes Chuck's erection like in words, and it's just odd. It was just odd to hear in like a Gossip Girl book, just because I'm just thinking of like the CW TV show, and she's just like, and it was the greatest, most wonderful thing Serena has ever seen. It was long and cast a long shadow, and I was just like, I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? What kind of Harlequin novel?
Like, yeah.
Am I listening to right now? But it was weird, and like then there was this whole like juxtaposition. So it was like on the other side of the town, it was like Blair and Nate, but like. This is supposed to be their like magic moment, but like Nate was like just remembering like an old time that he had with like Serena, and he leaves in the middle of it and like goes to her apartment, and it's like I feel like it's like raining for some reason. Like she like comes home and he's like standing out in the rain.
Yeah, I think so.
It's very like I don't know, John Hughes-esque.
Okay, so they definitely try to set up like this to be an actual triangle. Serena, Nate, and Blair.
Does it fall apart?
Serena is so flighty. Well, she constantly wants Nate. She does not know who Nate is. She is still thinking of Nate as the guy she knew, like, before she went to boarding school.
Like young Nate, old Nate.
Yeah, she's like, that's the Nate she knows. Like, she does not know Nate who has been involved with Blair. They have a relationship. They are making plans for the future because that's what teenagers do. It's part of like Serena also not picking up on the social cues around her, that people have moved on. They are not the same people they were
before
2 years ago or whatever. Like Serena thinks everybody stayed the same while she was gone,
like frozen in time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She doesn't realize that they have grown and changed, and you know they want to do other stuff. You know, they don't want to just party in the Chuck Bass's hotel suite.
Nate shows up at like Serena's house, I guess, and it's just kind of like for the both of them, it just doesn't happen. Like there's just kind of it's just like I think like Nate comes to the realization. I could be wrong because I think I'm trying to like mix it in with the TV show too. But there's just this whole like like Nate kind of is like, hey, this, like she's not the one that like she's not the way that I remembered her, and like Serena's kind of like he's not the way that I remembered him, and it just kind of like he goes back to Blair basically. He's just like, all right, well, whatever. And I guess now it's like leading up to the party. It's like Serena is like now invited, but she's like starting to put the pieces together that
like it's starting to like maybe I'm not wanted there.
Yeah.
Really? Girl, you couldn't figure this out like a week ago?
So then there's this like whole thing where she's just like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to take my new filmmaking gig seriously. So let me just call up Vanessa. I'm just going to like, you know, I know she's working on that hot movie. Maybe she can, you know, take a day or two away from the hot movie and show me how to like work a camera, maybe let me borrow some of her equipment. So she like calls up Vanessa.
Yeah, she's like, okay. Like, I think there's part of Vanessa that's like, what is going on? But she's like, okay, let's just go with it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so like Serena like goes to her house, and while they're there, Vanessa's like talking about like her older sister Ruby, who's in like a band. She's cool. And she's playing at like a club in Williamsburg that night, and it's the same night of the party.
Yeah.
So she's like, "So you're not going to the Kiss on the Lips party, are you?" And she's like, "Oh no. Like, why would I go to that?" So Serena agrees to go to the bar with Vanessa and Ruby, and they actually like have like a good time. And then for whatever reason, so I guess Dan and Jenny were supposed to go together to the Kiss on the Lips party.
Okay, so yeah, Dan is supposed to like take Jenny to the Kiss on the Lips party just to like shut her up. Because, like, Jenny's a freshman, and they're all, the others are, like, all seniors, so, you know, it's like, she's, like, the cool freshman who got invited just because she did the calligraphy. Blair used her, and Jenny uses Blair. That's just how it is. But, Dan ditches Jenny to go hang out with Vanessa and Serena, because Serena's there and he's obsessed. And Jenny ends up with Chuck Bass, and things get, like, creepy and rapey, and, like, he doesn't actually rape Jenny, but it gets close.
He like feeds her multiple glasses of champagne, like maybe like 4 or 5 glasses, and then like takes her into like the ladies' room at this party, and like disrobes her like in like a bathroom stall.
Yeah.
Before we get there, though, like Dan shows up at Vanessa and Serena and Ruby's like band outing. Serena and Dan kind of like click. They like dance to her cool music. They have fun. They take shots. And Vanessa's like jealous at first, but then like, I don't know, she takes notice of like a creepy like 24-year-old bartender, and like the two of them hit it off.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Like apparently this bartender has a thing for Vanessa. Probably doesn't even realize she's 17 and still in high school. Like that's the thing is like half these people don't realize how old these kids are just running around New York. Going to bars.
Just the world they live in. Yeah.
Like
it's no worries. There's even like a it's in that scene at the hotel with Serena and Blair, and like the waitress even like acknowledges that they're high schoolers, but she's like, "We don't have to tell my boss that though."
Yeah, it's.
I can see why, like, because I was like reading how a lot of parents were like upset that their teenagers had these books. I could see why.
Yeah.
Could totally see.
I could totally see it too.
At the party, not the party, at the bar, Dan gets a call on his cell phone from Jenny. Like I guess she's like cognizant enough to call him.
Yeah, she's like, Dan, I need help.
He decides to go. Serena decides to accompany him because I guess she knows the lay of the land. Like she knows, like, oh, I'll know like, where to go and how to navigate this party. Plus, I think she wants to like confront Blair for some reason, or Nate. I don't know. There's this whole like other side to her. They don't really get into much explanation of, but it kind of like comes to head while they're there.
There is definitely jealousy between the two, Serena and Blair. Like Serena, the way I see it, is that Serena thinks she should just get whatever she wants, not have to work for it, even if it means, like, taking her best friend's man. Because she wants Nate, so she should have Nate.
And I feel like not only that, I feel like she wants to, like, reclaim her place in, like, the social hierarchy at Constant Billard. Mm-hmm. Constance. I keep fucking saying up.
Why did you do this?
I don't know. So they get to the party. Like, Dan's like, all right, I'm going to go over here and look for Jenny. Meet me back here in like 10 minutes. And she's like, okay. And then she just like immediately forgets about Dan and just kind of like gets involved in like her petty drama for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then...
Because that's Serena.
So like her and Blair kind of have this like... And Nate, they all kind of have this like moment. Because Blair's like, all right, Nate, you need to go up to Serena right now and tell her that like you don't want to be friends with her anymore. And he like he like walks up to her and he's like, yeah, I still want to be your friend, but not like the friend we used to be. Like, he does like the opposite of what Blair says, and it still makes her upset.
I mean, I think Nate does that because he's trying to like not make a scene, and he knows that Serena's kind of crazy.
Plus, like, Gossip Girl's eyes are everywhere, and like he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, and like they know about Gossip Girl. Like, they're not idiots.
Serena gets upset, and she like goes into the bathroom to like wash her face or something and like while she's in there, she like walks in and she sees like she recognizes like Chuck's shoes like in the bottom of the stall, and she like she knows like his mannerisms and like the sounds he makes and just his like overall creepiness. Like, so she's like, oh, Chuck, like really, like here, like in the ladies' room. And then she kind of like hears like crying sounds from Jenny, although she doesn't realize it's Jenny. And she knows something's up. She opens the stall and like she finds like Jenny with like her dress like down at her waist, her bosoms are out. Chuck's like oogling at him, and that's when like Dan comes in. He just like pops into the ladies' room. Like, I don't know why, but
This is a world that we will never know because now we're too old to be part of the young, hip New York elite crowd.
Yeah, so he pops in, and that's when like Serena pieces it together that Dan and Jenny are siblings, and they kind of, I don't know, stand up to Chuck and tell him off.
Yeah, they stand up to Chuck. Chuck, like, they get Jenny out of there, and we really just see Chuck pop up as the creepy guy at parties for like the rest of the series, who gets sexually ambiguous and has a pet monkey.
And like he's just kind of like a side character in the books, but I guess in the TV series he was popular.
Yes, unfortunately.
Included him more. So Jenny and Dan, like they kind of like walk. Jenny, Dan, and Serena, they kind of like walk through the party. I think like Jenny and I keep saying Jenny, Serena and Dan like lock hands, and like he escorts her out, and they like share a cab, and it's going to be the start of a new beautiful life for all three of them.
Yes, Serena and Dan are, like, over by the next book.
Then we kind of get, like, at the very end, we get this little, like, Gossip Girl update of, like, what happened at the party. And, like, Blair is shocked that Serena would dare leave with, like, such, like, low-life scum, like Dan Humphrey, and, like, fuck Jenny Humphrey for, like, turning on her, turning her back against her after all that I've done for her. And then it's, like, we have, like, this whole, like, what will happen? Stay tuned. And I guess it's, like, hinting at the next book sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like hinting at the next book, and, you know, because there's supposed to be Gossip Girl's blog post, to stay tuned for the new blog post.
Yeah, leave comments below.
To be fair, Gossip Girl Today is an Instagram page.
Yes, in the new HBO Max series, right? Yeah. So I guess they released like 2 books a year, 2 or 3 books a year until around the time the TV show came out.
Something like that. I read them like all by the time they were all released. I just like read through all of them.
And then there was like a spin-off series that focused around Jenny like at college maybe or something.
No, Jenny at like Hanover.
Oh, she goes to Hanover. Fucking yeah. Hanover. Fuck Hanover.
I never read those. And then there was like a follow-up book series, like another like new generation of girls being followed by Gossip Girl, and it just wasn't as good.
I don't know where it stands now. Like I'm sure there's something out there. I don't know what though. Who cares?
The only thing out now is the new TV series from HBO Max, and I watched the whole thing that's been released thus far, and every episode I'm like, I don't believe these people are friends. Why is this the girl? And when is the teacher gonna like hook up with the one girl's dad and then realize she's really in love with the other teacher? Like, I feel like it's trying to be something, and it's not like you get the social justice warrior, like, rich boy who's gonna, like, protest against his father's own, like, or his mom's own, like, development. Like, while they try to take down this rat-infested building and put up something that, like, passes health code.
Okay. But it's like the same school, the same...
It's the same school. Okay. So it's the same school. The teachers are, like, terrified of these girls. Because nobody's been keeping them in check, because there has been no Gossip Girl since Dan revealed he was Gossip Girl or whatever.
Oh, that's like shook the school to the core.
Yeah. There was a teacher, though. One of the teachers in, like, the first episode is like, well, back in my day, we had Gossip Girl, and it kept some of the kids in check because, you know, they were terrified of what was going to be said on this blog, and the teachers look it up, and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing.
And then all of a sudden, Gossip Girl returns.
Yeah, Gossip Girl returns because the teachers using it.
You think it's going to be one of the teachers?
Okay, spoiler alert. It's the teachers. It's not just one teacher, it's a group of teachers.
Oh, so you know who it is?
Yeah, you know who it is.
Oh, that sucks. Like, they're just scared of their kids? Like
they're, because, you know, oh, Patricia, like, didn't get the A she should have on this paper. Ma'am, your daughter turned in 3 words on a piece of paper. That is not an A for a 2,000-word essay.
I feel like, without having seen any of these episodes, I feel like what the teachers are doing is, like, borderline of crime.
It gets, like, they're like, times where they question what they're doing.
Oh.
They're like, why are we doing this? But then it's like, the students are better behaved because they're like, oh shit, somebody's watching us. We're gonna get called out. And they're so, like, concerned with their social media influence because, like, the main it girl is an influencer. And I'm just like, bitch, I don't think she would be.
So these are sponsors.
Like, I just feel like she would not. Like, I'm just like, why? Why is she an influencer? Like, I just don't see it.
I feel like, without having seen the show and knowing nothing about the reboot of the series, I feel like this is going to backfire on the teachers, and then, like, a student Gossip Girl will emerge and just kind of...
Maybe.
It'll be like Gossip Girl against the teachers. So, I don't know. Stay tuned, folks.
Well, like, the teachers are a little smart about it because they'll put blinds about them.
Oh. Ooh, they're covering their tracks.
Yeah, to cover.
Ooh, I like it. I stand this idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good idea in theory, but...
Yeah, there's, like, a few things, like, that happen that call back to the original series. Like, in the first episode... they're talking about, like, Constance Billard loves, and they're like, oh yeah, Nate Archibald, he's such a good guy. And that's how the whole thing comes up about Gossip Girl. She's like, no, Nate was a jackass back in the day.
It'll be like, he's now the CEO of, like, a sports team or something. They just...
Like, well, he's running, like, a multimedia empire or something.
Rupert Murdoch.
And then, like, there's another one where they go to, like, a Halloween party, and they're like, oh, who should we dress up as? They're like, Solange and Beyonce. Well, that's totally the only sister duo they could think of. But there's this other other group of prep school girls who are also, like, influencers trying to, like, be it. So, like, this one girl backstabs them and tells everybody to go as Beyonce and Solange.
Ooh.
And then the other two show up as Blair and Serena.
Do you think people would do that in real life?
No. No.
It's just to, like, keep viewers tuned in, just because they throw those names out there.
And then Nelly Yuki showed up in the same episode.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask the age-old question. On a scale 1 out of 5, Chuck Bass Sweets. How many Chuck Bass Sweets would you rate Gossip Girl Book 1 in a series of books by Cecily von Ziegler?
Okay, so at this point in my life, I'm giving it a 3. Because while I enjoyed it, I am not, like, running out to find the next book. Or listen to them, because we obviously did the audiobook, but yeah.
Yes, narrated by Christina Ricci, by the way. We should have mentioned that.
And then one of the girls from the original Roswell did a Gossip Girl stuff.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what actress it was. I knew, like, a month ago when I first purchased this book.
Yeah.
but I don't remember now. So you're being kind of generous. I want to give this a 2. I just want like no more part of this world. Like I just want to I'm done. I'm just done with this book series. Like it ended, and even though it kind of like was a cliffhanger, like nothing in it just made me want to know more. Like I wasn't like, oh, I need to know what happens with all these people. I was just like, you know what? I hope they all get fucking kicked out of school.
If I want salaciousness, I'm just gonna go to Crazy Days and Nights and read up on Hollywood gossip.
Like real people that
Yeah.
are part of our world, not these fantasy characters that are oogling over Jude Law in 2002. Like, what was Jude Law doing in 2002? Like, Closer? Was that it?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Trying to think of like a AI. He was like in the movie AI. I remember that with like Haley Joel Osment, like the robot movie.
Yeah, Enemy at the Gates and AI, artificial intelligence.
How old was Jude Law in 2002? I feel like he was like in his 30s by then. Like, just nothing that like the YA novel audience would like swoon for.
Jude Law is only 8 years older than us.
Okay.
So he would have been like 20, 28, 29. Which, yeah, that's...
Okay, yeah.
That age works.
Because, alright, who are the big celebs in 2002? Like Nelly, maybe? Or like... Was like Nick Cannon around yet?
Oh, definitely. This is like... We're coming off... This is like Justin Britney breakup era.
Peak. This is Justified era.
I mean...
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like weird... Like, maybe Cecily von Ziegler knew Jude Law and was like, hey, I'm going to put you in my book. And he's like, okay. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody.
Okay, let's see. The most powerful celebs in 2001, according to Forbes.
And I'm talking, like, teen celebs. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to find, like, who just the names. This did not do anything for me. That is not even the list I have wanted.
Like, I almost just said, like, Ryder Strong, but that was, like, 95.
This is what you need to remember. 2001 is the year of 9/11, the year Aaliyah died. This is the year... Yeah, this is like Britney Justin breaking up era.
I don't know. I feel like Cisco was in a movie around this time.
Yeah, this is like the era... This is like when Britney and Justin wore the denim outfit.
I don't know, like maybe the kid from Sum 41.
So it's like Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis...
yeah.
Tobey Maguire.
What's that name? Ryan Cabrera and like the Laguna Beach Kids.
Ashley Simpson.
Maybe like Chad Michael Murray.
This is like Jessica Simpson, Nick Lachey married period of time.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know. It's just like weird. They just like they didn't throw any of those names in there. We got Jude Law.
Yeah,
which is just great. Doesn't get any better than that. You know what? I hope he gets royalties every time somebody buys this book. He gets like a penny. All right. Any last minute thoughts on Gossip Girl as a book, as a TV show, as maybe a movie one day? Soundtrack?
The book series is really interesting because it is so vastly different from the TV show. The thing is, I find Serena annoying in both. Like both.
Poor Serena doesn't catch a break.
Like just has things handed to her. Like she basically just has a role in an update of Breakfast at Tiffany's handed to her.
Love it.
She has no like conscious purpose in her life. She's just gonna do like whatever gets handed to her.
All right. So, where do you think this is an interesting question? We're just gonna go by book characters only. Where do you think Serena van der Woodsen is right now?
Okay, Serena is still living in New York.
Same apartment? She inherited it from her mom?
Yeah, same apartment, like the same penthouse, same view. She is probably on her third engagement. She's still trying to like steal the spotlight from whoever is in it. But she like gets deals. She's like a name in the New York tri-state area, but she's not like a name anywhere else. Like she's like, oh yeah, that one girl who was in that movie once.
Like there's a very specific subsection of people who know who she is, but if you went to, I don't know, like Milwaukee and dropped her name, people would be like, who?
Who? Yeah. But at the same time, Blair Waldorf is probably more well known
Oh, okay.
for doing something like running a business, like running her own business. She's like she's probably got like a girl boss book or something.
I kind of see Blair Waldorf today as like the editor at Teen Vogue for some reason. She's like that lady that was on the first episode of The Hills, like the boss now.
Okay, I see it.
That's Blair Waldorf. And then Serena Vanderwoodson for me. I feel like her mom probably married Jude Law, moved to England, and left Serena the fancy-ass apartment. And Serena, she had like a cosmetic line that was big at like maybe like Kohl's for like 10 years. That was like a big thing. And then it went under, and like now maybe, like I feel like she does something for like the E network now. Like she's involved with like
She has like the red carpet.
like one of those like correspondents.
Yeah.
I was thinking like she had like a Gastineau Girls type show.
Okay, yeah.
Like the Vanderwoodsons. Like it's like not as popular as Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but it's like the next one in line. It's on its like 6th season, but like it's sort of popular and like people know it, but I don't know, it's not getting the attention that like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like no one knows who like her mom is. Like everyone knows like who Kris Jenner is.
Okay, I get what you're saying, yeah.
And like I don't know, like maybe she has like a press on nails company too that she runs.
I could see that. She's tried, she signed a bunch of deals, but she's just never gonna be like the name.
She's like a like throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and sees what sticks kind of girl. And she's still kind of like envious of Blair, like because Blair's got a whole fucking empire.
Blair's got her whole empire. Blair got Nate. He's got yachts. They're living in California.
Nate's like he like owns a sports team. He's like a sports mogul. Like maybe he
I could totally
what's it like the Brooklyn Nets or something? He like runs them.
something like that. I don't even know.
Signs. Maybe he's gonna try like music production this year. You know the quarantine kind of got him like locked inside, and he got into I don't know, GarageBand or something. No,
he just found a weird hobby during quarantine, and now it's his career.
Yeah. He did a lot of Zoom calls with like The Weeknd, and he's gonna like I don't know, try to produce their next record.
I could see that.
And Chuck Bass is in jail.
Yeah, see, I was figuring Chuck's kind of probably like dead and nobody realized.
Yeah, Dan Humphries is in a band maybe.
Dan was never really a musician though. Like he was more the writer.
I feel like he could. I kind of see him going like a poetry route, like a beat poet route.
Yeah, see, I was thinking the same thing. He's probably like got some poetry books. Like he's got a following.
Yeah, he does a lot of like spoken word performances. Maybe he has like he has one of those podcasts sort of like conversations with, and it's like a special guest, and it's like I don't know, Katie Lang is in an episode.
But where's Vanessa?
I see her. You know what? I actually see her. She's the one. She works for E, and she's the one who like pulled Serena into that world.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I bet Vanessa is working behind the scenes at the Hallmark Channel, making Hallmark movies.
Oh, I can see that too. Maybe someone found her student film, and it was very like When Calls the Heartsy to them, so they were like. You know what?
This is how you know Patrick has never actually watched When Calls the Heart.
Well, we really didn't know what the movie is like that she was making, but I feel like someone had seen it and was like,
"True.
Hey, I saw your student art film, and I kind of want to like whatever vibe you were going in that. I want it paired with When Calls the Heart."
I can like see Heather rolling her eyes at you right now. I can't. Okay, this is the way I see Vanessa. Like she has ambitions, but she wants to get paid. You know, and she got to that point where she's like, I could be working on a new movie every like other month or something, or I could just be struggling and still working as a barista. I'm going with a new cheesy movie every few months. And like she and Dan don't get along because Dan's like, you're a sellout. She's like, yeah, a sellout who has a nice apartment.
Yeah, so Vanessa, like she did like three like indie movies. Maybe like one of them got like a little bit of traction. It was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like she got like Kerry Russell to be like the main star in it, and that was supposed to
Like, she got one of those indie films that
caught on.
gets a little bit of traction on like Netflix, but then like everybody forgets about it after a week. But she's a decent director. She's trying to be something she's not. She's trying to be edgy. She's not. She's really not. So, she gets an offer to make like a nice family-friendly little rom-com, and she needs the money, and she likes the money, so she keeps doing it.
And then Jenny Humphrey, she's a OnlyFans star.
Oh God, totally.
And that's everybody. I'm excited for next week because we literally have nothing on the agenda, so it could be anything. It could be a Halloween episode. It could be a Christmas episode. Who knows?
Yeah, I have no clue. We have to figure this out.
I don't know. Join us next week for Question Mark. And where can you follow our Wild Ass Adventures?
You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. A Very Special Podcast.com, SaltyRockMedia.com, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Pandora, maybe? Spotify? Amazon
Pandora?
Podcasts? I don't know. Apparently people still use Pandora. Does Pandora do podcasts?
I have no idea. We're on Audible, too, by the way.
Yeah, Audible. Like, anywhere you can find a podcast, you will find us. You found us somehow, so subscribe and listen and send us a tweet. Tell us we're crazy. Call me a bitch, because apparently that's what people like to do.
Yeah, and tell me you hate my voice.
Go off on us because your kid has peanut allergies. I don't know.
But we're still there. We're still thriving. We're like Serena Vanderwoodson. We don't give up.
I think that's more of a Blair thing. We don't give up.
Whatever. Who cares? It's not important. All right. As always,
bye.
Watch the train tracks. Or, I don't know, Blair hopping on a train and going back to Hanover, I guess. I don't know.
You mean Serena?
I don't know. Who cares?
Serena's getting the hell out of town again.
Yeah. She's leaving.